I never expected my first assignment off Earth to involve alien royalty or blood. When humanity joined the Interstellar Coalition, our scientists and diplomats were given various posts across the galaxy. I had signed up as a medical liaison, thinking it would be safe. Space stations, starports, and minor colonies sounded manageable. Instead, I ended up on Virellia Station, orbiting the lush planet Zytherion, the homeworld of the Alarion Empire. I was assigned to the Palace Hospital, not because I was exceptional, but because the coalition was stretched thin and I had basic medical training. The palace was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Its architecture seemed alive, shimmering silver walls rising and twisting like organic spires. Bioluminescent gardens spiraled along corridors. Alien caretakers glided silently across the floors, their translucent bodies pulsing with subtle light. Every corner of the station whispered wealth, power, and centuries of tradition. I quickly learned the Alarion Empire was not just advanced, it was formidable. Their ships could disassemble entire fleets with precision beams, their diplomacy was flawless, and their technology bent the very laws of physics. But what terrified humans most was the royalty themselves, especially the youngest princess, Lyra. Lyra was famous across several systems. She was rumored to be a prodigy, a political strategist, and a warrior trained in arts that humans couldn't even comprehend. But what made her legendary and terrifying was her fragility. Alarion royalty were known for delicacy. One misstep in their environment, one exposure to foreign pathogens, and they could die within hours. That fragility is what made my first encounter with her unforgettable. Chapter 2. A Life Hanging by a Thread. It was mid-cycle of the station's artificial day when alarms blared through the Palace Hospital. I was organizing medical supplies when a senior Alarion nurse, an elder with iridescent skin that shimmered from pale blue to violet, approached me in haste. "Human, Princess Lyra has contracted the Zytherion fever," she hissed, her voice tense. The Zytherion fever was lethal to Alarion physiology. Even minor exposure could be fatal within hours. Treatments existed, but they were experimental and often required extraordinary measures. "Show me," I said, running after her. Lyra was in a biostasis chamber. She floated inside a transparent cocoon filled with a silver liquid that acted as both medicine and life support. Her breathing was shallow, almost imperceptible. Her violet eyes, usually sharp and calculating, flickered weakly. I assessed her vitals. The colony's standard antiviral serum would take hours to synthesize. By then, it might be too late. "Is there a donor?" I asked. Her nurse shook her head. The only compatible donor would have to be human-compatible blood. But even then, only rare types might work on Alarion physiology. Many have tried and failed. I froze. Human blood? I had read the reports in medical archives. The Alarion immune system was extraordinarily selective. Cross-species transfusions had a 0.3% success rate. But the alternative was letting her die. "I'll do it," I said without thinking. Chapter 3. The Transfusion. The chamber doors hissed open. I was strapped into the procedure pod, while the nurses monitored both of us. They explained the process. My blood would be mixed with nanite stabilizers, then slowly infused into Lyra's circulatory system. If my blood was incompatible, the reaction could kill us both. "You understand the risk?" the lead nurse asked. "Yes," I said, even though I barely did. As the first tubes connected, Lyra opened her eyes. They were dull, faintly glowing, but still intelligent. "You're human," she whispered, almost a shadow of her usual commanding tone. "Yes," I replied. "And I'm going to help you." Her lips curved slightly. "Few dare to risk themselves for a princess," she said, her voice weak but steady. "Even fewer for me." I smiled grimly. I'm not thinking about politics right now. Then it began. My blood entered her system. I could feel the stations hum around me, the nanites coordinating, and the subtle, alien life force synchronizing with my own. Time slowed. Her chest rose slowly, rhythmically. Her pupils dilated. Alarion nurses monitored every nanosecond. Sweat poured down my forehead. And then the monitor stabilized. Her heart rate normalized. The fever broke. I exhaled a long, shaky breath. She's stable, the lead nurse shouted. The transfusion, it worked. Lyra blinked at me. Her eyes, violet now deepened with color, locked onto mine. You, she breathed, saved me. I swallowed, unsure how to respond. It was necessary. You risked your own life, she said softly. For me. I didn't know what to say. And maybe that was the point. Chapter 4, A Bond Forms. For the next few days, Lyra remained in the medical ward under my observation. Her body recovered rapidly, faster than anyone predicted. But her gaze followed me wherever I went. She asked questions about human physiology, my history, my world, and my choices. I have never encountered a human willing to give so much, she said one evening as we sat in a quiet chamber overlooking Zytherion's glowing oceans. Most would have calculated the odds and walked away. I didn't think about odds, I admitted. I just did what had to be done. She tilted her head, studying me as if trying to decipher something profound. That is rare, among humans and Alarion alike. The truth was, I felt an unusual warmth whenever she was near. Her presence was magnetic, alien yet familiar. And I noticed something extraordinary. The bond between us wasn't just medical, it was biological. The transfusion had linked us at a molecular level. I tried to ignore the thought, but Lyra didn't. You are connected to me now, she said softly. Through your blood. You will always be a part of me, and I will not let you go. I laughed nervously. I didn't sign up for lifelong commitment. This is not a choice, she replied. This is nature. This is survival. And perhaps something more. Chapter 5. The Political Consequences. Word of the transfusion spread like wildfire. The Alarion court was scandalized. A human had saved the princess with his own blood. Some saw heroism, others saw a breach of protocol, and a few whispered about potential biological contamination. Ambassadors and noble houses requested meetings. The High Council convened to discuss whether a human should remain in proximity to the princess. I was called before the council. Lyra accompanied me. She stood behind me, radiating authority despite her delicate frame. Human Daniel Carter, the lead counselor, said, "You endangered yourself by transfusing your blood into Princess Lyra. Explain why this action should not be considered reckless endangerment and interference in royal affairs." I took a deep breath. Because it saved her life. The council murmured. That is undeniable, said another voice. Lyra stepped forward. He saved me. And in doing so, he became part of me. I will not allow him to leave my presence. His actions were courageous. They were necessary. And they were his choice. A stunned silence followed. Even the council had never heard a princess speak with such authority in their presence. You declare this publicly? The lead counselor asked. Yes, she said firmly. He belongs to me now. I blinked. Wait, what? Lyra's violet eyes softened. Through blood, life, and circumstance, you and I are linked. You saved my life, human. And now, you will remain with me, not by law alone, but by the bond we share. Chapter 6. Adjusting to a new reality. Life after the transfusion was complicated. I was no longer just a human medical liaison. I was a part of Alarion society in a way no human had ever been. I received private quarters within the palace, privileges I could barely comprehend, and responsibilities I hadn't asked for. Lyra insisted I accompany her to official ceremonies, diplomatic meetings, and even training sessions. Everywhere we went, whispers followed. Some nobles envied me.
Some feared me.
Some whispered that I was the princess's chosen protector, or even consort.
I didn't know how to react.
Most of the time, I was simply overwhelmed. But Lyra, she thrived. She guided me patiently, explaining the customs, teaching me the Alarion way of thinking, and allowing me to remain human in all the ways I could. And slowly, I realized something remarkable. The bond we shared was more than survival, more than biology.
It was trust.
It was friendship. And yes, it was something that could grow into a connection I had never imagined possible. Chapter 7. The First Test. A month after the transfusion, Lyra's kingdom faced a diplomatic crisis. A neighboring empire demanded an alliance, or threatened invasion. Lyra turned to me. Your perspective as a human will be valuable. Speak honestly. Do not bend to the court's expectations. I gave my analysis. Lyra listened carefully, asking questions, considering alternative approaches, and ultimately using my advice to negotiate successfully. Your insights saved thousands of lives, she said afterward, and reminded me why keeping you close was not just sentiment, it was necessity. I felt my face warm. I'm glad I could help. She smiled, violet eyes twinkling. This is only the beginning, human. You are mine in more ways than you know. And I will protect you as you have protected me. Chapter 8. A Bond Sealed. Weeks turned into months. Our bond solidified, biologically, politically, and emotionally. We trained together, strategized together, and explored the palace gardens at night. I learned her quirks. She learned mine. We debated ethics, culture, and philosophy. And every time she smiled, every time she touched my hand, I was reminded of the blood bond that had started it all. One night, standing on a balcony overlooking Zytherion's twin moons, she spoke quietly. You are part of me now, human. And I am part of you. Together, we will face whatever comes, diplomacy, war, or fate. I nodded, looking at her glowing figure. I never thought a single act could change my entire life. You saved my life, she said. And now we share it. That is how bonds are forged in my world. Her words were simple. Her gaze was unwavering. And for the first time I understood. Some connections are forged in choice, some in circumstance, and some in blood. I reached out. She took my hand, and in that moment, I knew there was no going back. The human who had saved an alien princess now belonged to her. And somehow, that was exactly where I was meant to be.